Angela, so I am from Cleveland, just like you. One thing I love that you captured in the movie is the sort of the fatalism or like aimlessness of some of the guys that we grew up with. And I don't know that it's specific to Cleveland, but it does feel like very prevalent in like sort of the industrial Midwest. They're just like doing jobs, making a living, getting by, and like maybe there's no pension, no chances for like upward mobility. How did you sort of like identify with Cherry the person and with the story, like from your own personal perspective?
Very much so, in all of the ways that you just touched on. And I think that the city of Cleveland in this particular story is directly correlated to the journey that we're witnessing Cherry go on. Both of them are sort of engaged in an existential crisis, one directly informing the other, meaning Cherry's surroundings have very much, I think, informed his view of the world, and sort of that feeling of being lost and aimless at the start of the story, like you said. And it's not unique only to Cleveland. It certainly does extend through the industrial Midwest, as you touched on. But I think it really captures a certain type of person, one who might feel compelled to enlist in the army, one who, might come back and not necessarily have the resources needed and fall prey to the opioid epidemic, which is so rampant in that part of the country. So it played a major role for sure. And in some ways, I don't think the story would have worked elsewhere. But maybe that's just my own bias being from Cleveland, but it felt that important to the storytelling.
Well, there's also there's a part of me as someone from Cleveland, like when I watch movies or TV shows or whatever that are set or shot there, it makes me feel like it's not just all like broken down warehouses and trees without leaves and you know what I mean?
I do. That's the dichotomy, right, of the city. It's very easy to go to that first place that you mentioned because that fits the narrative that's been applied to Cleveland from the rest of the country. And it's certainly a part of Cleveland, the hollowed out buildings, the bitter weather. But Cleveland is a very vibrant city as well, and it's filled with people who have a certain grit and also just a certain like joy for life despite their circumstances. And I always find that to be so just so remarkable about the people there. And I felt very protective of the people portrayed in this story for that reason. You want to catch both sides of it.
Jessica, A, love all the records behind you. B, sort of where did you connect with this story and like with bringing the book to the screen?
Well, as soon as I read the book, I thought like, wow, what an opportunity to write about so many like social themes that I've been interested in since I like started writing plays like in my early 20s. So, disenfranchised youth, working class America, addiction, PTSD. To be able to do a intimate film like this, a character study, but with like the scope of these like incredible filmmakers, felt so exciting. So I think, deeply for me, that story of what it is to love an addict, and the struggle with that has touched a lot of our lives, really something I felt like I wanted to be able to be a part of.
I don't imagine that anyone goes in for a robbery if they're not in some kind of desperation.
I've been at this a while now, and it's no secret what my face looks like.
Get on the ground!
The one thing about robbing banks is you're mostly robbing women, so the last thing you want to be is rude. Ma'am, it's nothing personal.